All right. The question for today is an interesting one. Does or does your character have a birthmark? And if so, what does it look like?
I've got a image that really resembles Mix's head on my taint.
10 out of 10 can confirm.
It would be. Oh man. Anybody else with any birthmarks?
No, Jinku doesn't have any.
I would say for Torta being the gold and the red, the gold is his birthmark because it's their standard one color.
Oh, okay.
It may be like a lighter green, in some areas, but he's pretty
Interesting.
much red and gold, and that gold is the birthmark.
Interesting. Okay.
Test.
Oh,
Hey!
those wonderful dulcet tones are back in this.
Hey. Okay, so we got the sound working. Now we just got to get you connected to Fantasy Grounds. So in the meantime, while you're firing up Fantasy Grounds, Zai, got a
Yep.
birthmark?
Does Zyara have a birthmark? Um, yeah, she has one, like, on the outside of her left hip. That kind of looks a little bit um, like a blobby sun and moon almost. No. Okay, then read me that IP again. And that's with the periods between each of those numbers, right? Okay, that's what I thought, but
Anybody want to give a rundown of? Well, I guess since Torta's back, this whole last little side thing you guys got up to, uh, Torta didn't hear anything about. So if anybody remembers what was going on with what you guys just all popped out of. I want to give Torta a refresher here.
Yeah, I don't think Raki has been able to attend since Torta smashed all those mirrors.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Torta was here for the mirror smashing. He was right. He was
Yeah.
at the very beginning. That's right.
He was here for the mirror smashing, and he was here for the dude that made you give up a memory.
That's right. And then after that, no. Okay. So just the latter half of that. It doesn't seem like that IP wants to connect. Okay.
I don't know if maybe I need to try it with like 0000 as the port.
Let me look up really quick
Because it
if
like
there's like a
auto
default.
inserts a port, even though I don't put it in.
Auto insert. Look, bitch, if Viz isn't here, somebody's got to act like a second grader, okay?
Well, you're doing splendidly.
Hold on, let me go fucking
You're living up to all of my expectations.
goof a fifth of tequila in my
you are
ass.
far
and see what
exceeding
happens.
them, actually.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it looks like default. I mean, the 1802 it gives you by default should be fine. Like, I don't remember ever changing that from default. I guess try this other one instead. Oh my god. I'm sure if we looked at the installation on your tablet, we could see what the settings that it's using are there, since that hasn't changed. Since this is being difficult.
Let me go grab it.
Okay. Alright. So, yeah, Pocket Dimension business. So, let's see. After the memory stuff, you guys continued exploring through the various rooms in this whack-ass Pocket Dimension. I think the end of the last time that you were here, Torta, you guys went into the room that was like chock full of tentacles, and there were some people in cages, and you were trying to get them out, and then we ended. And then so there was a fight in that. You took out the weird tentacle monster, which was like there was like some kind of elven woman inside of it, and so some sort of something with all the madness bullshit going on in this place made her transform into some sort of horrible creature, and so you managed to take that out. You guys kind of poked around in a bedroom that seemed like it was belonged to the person who owned the place. There were some little like miniature dioramas of like various cities around the Sword Coast, and like the one that was of Waterdeep was like in the process of being constructed on its own. It was like building itself, which seemed ominous. And you guys found a room. There was like a room where the various villagers and things that had been coming into this cart were like seated down at this table of like a feast, and you guys noticed that like as people ate stuff, they were like visibly gaining weight. If I remember right, I think Torta went for a tart, but it wasn't really. It didn't really sit well. It wasn't a very good tart. Um, but then you guys like these people were being like fattened up at this like feast table, and then like hoisted off into like a nearby room where there was some sort of infernal machine that was like processing them into like pasties and stuff. Uh, Real nice. So you guys took out the various guards that were there, got into like this final large room where there was this, this harlequin adorned woman that you guys had been hearing about, that supposedly ran this place, who was just like gorging herself on like all of these uh, various baked goods and things that were coming out of this machine, supposedly made of all these like villagers and stuff from all over the Sword Coast. Um, Had a pretty wild boss fight there with her, and upon taking her out, taking her and her, you're not really sure if he was like a servant or consort or what, but there was like this chain devil that was there with her that you guys took out as well. And once you killed her, like the whole dimension collapsed. And in the process, like when you killed her, she like vomited up like hundreds of people from inside herself somehow that she had consumed. And so you guys found yourself, lying in this courtyard where the cart used to be, which had, just imploded on itself pretty much, with all these hundreds of people of all different races from all over the Sword Coast, many of them confused and disturbed. Um, and you also found out upon investigating like the body of like the chain devil that you guys killed that there was a necklace around his neck, kind of lost amongst all the various like chains and stuff that were like grafted into him, that bore the insignia of the Castellanter house. So it seems like this may have been what happened to their eldest son in the past. And that's pretty much where we left off. You guys were. I think you guys might have gone back to Troll School to fucking conk out and have a rest after that craziness. Um, but otherwise, that's pretty much where we were. You guys, found out what happened to the Castellanter's eldest son after he got taken away by a demon from some stupid deal they made that they told you about years ago, um, which is coming back to haunt them for their current pair of children. But yeah, there's that. That's out of the way. There's still one eye in this artifact that you guys haven't found yet. Uh, you guys do know that it seems like, just from like the various notes and things you recovered from some of the other places you've raided, it seems like the last eye Xanathar has somewhere, just to complete this artifact and find out.
The Xanathar.
Yeah, the Xanathar, the guy himself. But yeah, so we're at Troll Skull, recuperating from a bit of madness.
How much do tattoos cost these days?
Tattoos?
Yeah.
Hmm. Let's see. Well, it varies depending on what you're trying to do.
Full body piece text.
Full body piece text. Okay.
Well, it's like might not be the full body, but it's going to be a pretty good amount of it. I would say at least back and chest.
Okay. Uh,
It'll grow every level.
it'll grow every level. It would probably be. I would say probably to start, it would be somewhere between like 50 to 100, because while it is a lot, it's also just text, so it's not like full color complicated. But yeah, it would kind of, it would vary depending on the artist. Maybe like one whole like side, like, the chest side, back side, or whatever would
So I've got
be somewhere in there.
5 spell books.
You do. You guys have found a lot of spell books. That's true.
So my idea is to consolidate them at the tattoo shop.
All right. I like it. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I'd say that's doable. I mean, if you poke around the area here, I'm sure it wouldn't be too hard to find a tattoo artist. Do they have like a specific name for that? Like, is it just tattoo artist, or is there like a fancy term for a tattooist? I'm curious now.
I couldn't tell you. I bet you the Japanese have like a fancy term for it or something. And somebody does for like the traditional artists.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it looks like it's just tattooist, tattooer, tattoo artist. Doesn't feel like there's like a fancy term. At least just commonly used. But all right. Anyways, but yeah, you go looking around, trying to find a place for this, and probably maybe 7 or 8 blocks away from Troll Skull, you're able to find a parlor that does this, and you describe your needs to them. This simple text, large, just across a whole like side of your body. And the proprietor, he kind of looks you over, kind of. It seems to be kind of like measuring you with his eyes, just kind of trying to get an idea of like the area we're talking here. And
Bigger than a baby's arm, sir.
he says, "Well, I mean, it'll take some time and a good bit of work and probably sessions to put that amount of text on, but it's not too difficult in terms of design. So we'll probably say, maybe 70 gold pieces for a face, like a full face, so full back, full chest, or something."
Okay. I will happily pay 80 gold for this. But I want you to tattoo on my face first the words Mixtumbik is a coward.
Well, certainly, sir, if that's what you desire, we will tattoo whatever it is you need.
Okay, that's all I need then. Here's most of my gold, sir.
All right. And yeah, they can certainly get that started for you. So, I would say it'd probably take, I have no idea what normal tattoo processes take. I know it takes multiple sessions for large things, but I don't know how that works. But
That's due to artist and canvas pain tolerance level.
that makes sense. All right. How good is Boo's pain tolerance?
Constitution check.
Yeah,
that
make
is
him
a.
do it.
I agree. That would be a good spot for a Constitution check. How well does Boo fare under the tattoo needle?
Please
Because you
fail this check.
because you can't have Boo answer because he would tell you his constitution is the best. TM.
TM.
Yes.
All right, 11. All right, respectable. So Boo, you've seen some shit in your time. You've felt some pain. You've taken some blows.
He's
He's
been to
done some
prison.
time.
He's been to prison. He's got a little tattoo to prove it that he's done hard time already. The little teardrop or whatever it was. So, but even with that experience, um, it's a lot at once, and it's a little different. You're used to getting smacked with blunt objects or magical spells or large sharpened things, but the sensation of needles isn't something you're very familiar with. And so the experience of getting jabbed all over and over by these tattoo artists is something new to you. You bear it. You're able to bear it without making an embarrassment of yourself. Um, but just barely. Like there were a couple times where you had to kind of bite your lip to keep from making some squealing noises. But you managed to get out of the session just fine. A decent chunk of your back is done with that session. Um, hurts like heck. You're definitely going to be a little sore. Out of curiosity, with this, like you're tattooing these all up and down your chest and your back and stuff. How are you reading
Looking through the eyes
these?
of my familiar.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, I've thought this through.
Okay,
20
okay.
intelligence, fool.
Okay, I figured there was an answer for that somewhere.
You thought.
Trust me, I've thought this through because I've got to do a lot of preparation in order to free myself by allowing Mix to die. So I have to be prepared to lose everything. So the only way to take my spells is to flame me at this point.
That's fair.
Did anybody else really, really wish that he had failed that constitution?
Oh, that would have been great.
And he's still got more tattoo sessions, so we'll see how well he holds up.
I just think it would have been a funnier, role playing to see that play out if that had been a much lower number.
Yeah,
He just starts crying.
But yeah, so you get this session done. You come back to Troll Skull. You're a little hunched, just trying to mitigate the soreness a bit. What's everyone else up to here? You guys have just gotten out of a bit of a shitstorm of an experience here.
Oh, I know what Jinku's doing.
All right, what's Jinka doing?
Jinku gets the kids and we're gonna go find some more cats. But we're not gonna say anything else to anybody else. We're just gonna go get some more cats for the house because we need more cats.
All right. So you head out into the streets with the kids. Trying to kind of clear your mind of the insanity you guys had just witnessed with cute and fuzzy things. It's not very difficult to find more cats around. I mean, this city is huge, and cats are pretty prevalent, and people are kind of happy to have them around just for the rat and mouse aspect of things. But the question is if you're able to get any to like you or come with you at all. That's the question. So why don't you give me an animal handling check, and we'll see how friendly you get along. Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. So Jinku, there's a mostly kind of orange cat with white paws that you kind of find sunning himself on like a barrel, next to a building along the street. And you approach, trying to, with your hand kind of outstretched, trying to, maybe wiggling your fingers a little bit, seeing if they'll take the bait for it. And you manage to, you get your hand in there, you get your hand on the cat, get the hand on its stomach, and try to start doing some pets. But this was the wrong kind of cat to do the stomach pets on, and it was all a trap. And
Oh no.
and you got you got a few little scratches on your hand as they kind of got overexcited from your belly scratches and flipped out a bit and then ran off.
Okay. All right. Well then, we're gonna go back to the house real quick, and we're gonna talk to Mix and see if he's got any catnip or cat grass.
Well, I'm certain if he doesn't have any actual nip around, there is the apothecary shop just across the street from you guys that has a whole greenhouse full of stuff that probably includes catnip.
Yeah, but she was going to Mix first because she's trying to be nicer to him.
Let's see here. Would Mix have catnip? So you find Mix, down in the basement like usual, working on some concoction or other, whatever his current concoction plan was. Asking about catnip, and he unfortunately doesn't have any right on hand. It wasn't really of any. It wouldn't really be of any use to him to have any right now with what he's working on, and yeah, he also mentions that there's the apothecary across the street that he's been to a few times and has been really helpful with ingredients. So,
All right. Well, off we are to buy some catnip.
all right. So you head over to the apothecary, and inside, you step inside. It's you haven't really been in there in quite a while, Jinku. And behind the counter you see Fala Lefalier. It's been a while. That's her. Um, standing behind the counter. She looks like she's currently doing measuring some things out between a couple of different jars. She's got like a kind of like a cutting board laid out in front of her, and a couple sets of various sizes of spoons. You kind of see her kind of carefully measuring things out into various jars. And she looks up when she sees you come in. She says, "Oh, I I'm terribly sorry. I don't recall your name. I know it. I know Troll School, right? But I haven't seen you enough to remember what was your name. I'm so sorry."
No worries. I'm Jinku. I was
Jinku.
hoping you might have some catnip.
Catnip. Ah, yes, of course. Uh-huh. I believe I do have some. Let me go check upstairs. Um, I usually have to keep things like that a little tucked away, or the cats find it, and then it all gets dug up as they frolic around in it. So, so she, kind of sets her spoons that she was, or measuring spoons that she was working with here down kind of heads up kind of a narrow set of stairs to the kind of greenhouse portion on the upper part of her building. And then comes back a little bit afterwards with a few sprigs that she's trimmed off of a catnip plant for you here. Do you need it ground at all, or do you just want the sprigs?
Yeah, if you could grind it for me, that'd be great.
Certainly. And so she kind of opens a few drawers underneath the kind of backside of the counter here, pulls out a mortar and pestle, and kind of gets to work getting the leaves off of this and grinding them up in this mortar here for you, and then eventually gets it all scooped out and placed into a little satchel. And says, "Well, for the catnip, probably just 2 copper for that."
Wonderful. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Certainly. And she hands it over to you and takes your copper pieces and slips them into her drawer here. Gets back to measuring.
And we get back to cat hunting.
All right, so you head back out on the prowl for cats. Zai, Torto, what are you guys up to?
I think Zai is probably meditating.
Okay.
Because she feels very confused and lost and isn't really sure what's going on with her whole
Yeah, that's right.
cleric status.
That's right. Yeah. That is kind of an interesting situation that you found yourself in there. Let me.
Torto's somewhat in the same boat because now that he doesn't remember his race's law, his love for the law like it was,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't know how to act.
Yeah, that too. I think what was it? Let me.
Cleric and the monk are just screwed and trying to figure it out.
Well, he's never had a sense of freedom. He's always been bound by what they considered to be
Yeah.
lawful.
What was it? Oh, that's right. Yeah, you had like you forgot your homeland. That's what it was. So yeah, I guess that would kind of entail that whole kind of upbringing of culture with that. So yeah, but both of you are kind of both of you are kind of having a midlife crisis here. Um, maybe Jink a little bit too out there chasing cats. I don't know. Maybe everybody's having a midlife crisis right
I
now.
don't know, man.
No,
Jinky chasing cats is pretty normal.
No, Jinku's good. Jinku forgot
Jinku's
the hateful family.
Ha,
She feels very free.
that's true. Yeah, well, all right. Well, we got Boo out here getting full body, lengthy tattoos, and then we got cleric with no god, and a monk with no culture. So
Let's be real. Boo and Jinku probably are doing the best of us right now.
they probably are. So
Right?
I mean, I guess so. With your cleric, being forgotten. I mean, you don't. You obviously still know that there's there's deities out there. You didn't forget all of them, but you certainly feel like there's some sort of connection missing. Like you feel like you can still cast, the things that you can cast, but they're just not quite the right vibe with them right now.
Yeah.
If you needed to, funnel some extra power into something, you don't know where that would come from, or what that would be. So I guess since you don't remember your previous deity. And I guess at this point, would I be thinking, like, man, like, what are these other, like, what else is out there? Like, what can I connect with here? Or
Yeah, I think she would be looking to see if she could find another, like, deity that she feels, like, connected to. Because at least, like, morality-wise, she hasn't changed at all. She's still gray, like, she does what she needs to survive. So that's not really an issue. But yeah, she doesn't really feel like she has a deity to call upon. And even though she's very self-sufficient, like, having her deity before was, like, a very large source of comfort for her in, like, all of the hard shit she's gone through.
mm-hmm.
Because she's always been very alone before this party. So, before this party, like, her deity was basically her family.
Okay.
So I think she would want something like that again, but she would want to find one that she would have a better connection to.
Okay.
Not that she really remembers the connection she had, but she feels the loss of it.
Mm-hmm. And this is the point where somehow knowingly a pair of small halflings knock at the troll school door in white shirts.
Don't you even dare.
It feels like you're wondering about some important questions, aren't you?
Don't you even dare.
Those are the type of people that Mix has in his basement.
Oh man. So I mean, there are quite a few deities around, just in Waterdeep, even in terms of like temples in the city. I mean, pretty wide breadth of the pantheon, um, of D&D is around somewhere. So I would say, since we still gotta see what Tord is up to, if you
Yeah.
want to take a look at here, let me send you something here. I'll put this in the Dragon Heist room.
By the way, honey, your webcam is still off.
Oh, I think oh, it's because I clicked over onto like sometimes the web program I have is weird. Like if I click in the area where it is, even if I'm not clicking on its window, it thinks I clicked on like a scene switcher, and so it switches itself off, which is stupid. But yeah, on that Waterdeep page, if you scroll down, there's a section for religion, which kind of has hyperlinks to a bunch of the like various deities that have like decent temples, like pretty big temples in the city, as well as some of like the various minor ones that are around.
Yeah.
So if you want to take a look at those, and if there's any ones that kind of might pique your interest, maybe we can go wander around Waterdeep and check those out.
I suppose I probably should have been doing this on our off weeks, but that didn't happen.
That's okay. That's fine. So while Zion's doing that, so yeah, Torta, you don't have a culture anymore. That you remember. And I guess, yeah, that'd be kind of interesting because, like, I mean, like you said, that's a lot of how you kind of planned your day to day, almost kind of. So are you? So I get how are you feeling right now? You got your little pond bucket room at Troll Skull. You just like chilling in your pond tub, thinking.
Well, that's kind of how the first bit started, and then he's kind of just walking around the town watching people, like
Okay.
seeing how they interact, see how they treat each other. Because now he doesn't even remember really like typical manners, even because everything was so stern and so direct. Now he feels so free.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even know how to express himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you go walking around Waterdeep, and you probably kind of gravitating towards, like there's the large market square just to the west of you guys. It's a good place to go for if you're wanting to see people interact. And you head over to the market district, and you're getting quite a gamut of the human experience. Walking around in here, I mean, you got rich, you got poor, you've got people kind of happily going about their daily lives, buying foodstuffs and various other sundries. You've got angry people yelling at each other in the streets. Um, there's a couple taverns that you pass by with some drunks outside. Some of them kind of quaffing down um, some dripping mugs of ale and belching loudly. Um, and like you said, it all feels very new. I mean, a lot of these are sites you've seen many times before. Walking around with the rest of the group here in Troll Skull. So, I mean, in terms of in those terms, it's not like new, but like you're seeing them with new eyes, um, as it were.
Yeah, he's just trying to soak everything up. Really, he's going to be hanging next to Boo as much as possible because he doesn't want to talk to people.
That's fair. Would would Torta have gone along with Boo's little like tattoo adventure just to kind of like see what was going on there?
I don't want to do retcon, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, if I noticed that he was out when I went walking around the town, I might have tried to tag along with him.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe
I
you didn't.
mean-
Maybe you didn't go like directly with him.
I probably would have invited him because I'll be honest, Boo's been considering for a while, so I'll bring this up, Torta. This room in the tower that I've got is pretty big and it's warded. We could go find some stuff and make you a little mud puddle in the corner for like hanging out while I'm studying and stuff too. I know it's not comfortable being in the dry room all the time.
Well, I've got a pond built. Like, it's literally a bucket with like a amphibious sack hanging from it.
Well, at least the words will keep the stuff out of your head.
Yeah, that would be what he's truly worried about.
So I mean, at least there is that. I mean, out of everything that you've forgotten, you at least know that you really you don't really like magic. A lot of the experiences that you've had with it, because you still remember all those, and you had all those with the rest of the people here in Troll Skull. You had a lot of not good times with stuff messing with your head, and with magic in particular. Um, so that would definitely not be something you'd be gravitating towards. If anything, you're trying to gravitate as far away from that as you possibly can. Because I mean, you've I think it's probably like 3 times now somebody's like jacked your mind.
Yep. Don't like it at all.
All right. So I guess given given that, like what and like Torta can do already. I mean, he's a monk. He punches stuff. He's whatever. What do you think that Torta's um, like what kind of route do you think Torta would try to take to be as like no magic as possible?
I mean, he's hanging around with Boo, his magical best friend. So I mean,
Ain't true.
it's not the magic, it's the mental control that has got him.
Yeah, it's like it's mostly like the psychic stuff.
Yeah, he's
That's
trying to learn more from Boo on like how it works because he understands chi. He understands how to manipulate his body,
okay.
but how can he mentally protect himself from that in the future? Like he's got the ring, but the ring doesn't seem to help him too often. It's a lot of fun, mess with Jinku all the time, but
Okay.
what can I do mentally to make myself stronger?
Sure. So I think in you're poking around in Waterdeep here. Something that remember. You remember that you guys have friends at Blackstaff, the kind of magic organization here, and um, like you said, a lot of the stuff that has been like messing with you is like a lot of various kind of psychic based things, and it seems like perhaps a good way to understand these and stop it from happening in the future is you know similar to how you've connected yourself with chi, connecting yourself to the mind, and kind of opening that. I mean, I guess it kind of fits too. Like you've already got your kind of chakras open with your chi stuff, so now you got to open your mind chakra and maybe go kind of like a psychomancer kind of route. Like that'd be kind of interesting, I guess. Hmm. Like I don't know if that would be would that be something you would like look into, like maybe learning more about that as like kind of a defensive, like mind defense kind of aspect of that.
Yeah, definitely be something because he
Okay.
doesn't understand the magic, but like I said, he understands his chi. So he's going to be grilling. He don't really care about Mix, but he understands Boo more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's going to be grilling him, seeing like what can I do to maybe strengthen my resolve to charm or dominate, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
for
that he knows what that means, but just imparting that type of control, mental control.
okay. Perhaps what we could do that could be interesting, because like there is like there technically is like a psychomancer in 5e, and even if we don't like specifically go that route, since that's like magic and stuff, we could probably kind of re-flavor text some things from that to be like you power them through chi, since that's what you understand.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting. Start a whole new form of
Yeah.
monkhood.
Yeah, you're unbound by your cultural shackles. The creativity is flowing. Yeah, that could be interesting. I will see
Oh,
what I can find out about that, because that'd be kind of, because yeah, I mean it pretty much would just be because like if we do go that route, a lot of these a lot of the spells with that are like in here. We could just modify the flavor text for them so they're like with your chi instead, since that's your thing. That'd be Ooh, this could be cool. I mean,
I like this as not to. I don't like getting meta during a game, but
oh, feel free. That's fine.
my next level, because I'm level 2 monk, so my
Hmm.
next level monk, I pick a monastic tradition, and so if we're working together on this,
Oh,
I
hey.
think I would see like I think this would like culminate in like you know Boo's sitting down with Torta,
Hmm.
you know, assaulting him constantly with what little mind magic Boo has, and taking notes and working together. You know, and there's a song playing in the background. It's like, you're the best around. No one can ever beat you down. And we're just like,
Exactly.
we're doing, you know.
Well, that would actually be an interesting goal because, like, now that I think I'm trying to remember when we last leveled up. Because I mean, because we did just do this whole little side thing. I think
It was right before that, I think.
was it okay? So it has been a little bit. Because I mean, because yeah, because it's right. Because you're doing monk too. Because like we are kind of at a point with like a few people like kind of refiguring themselves out, and if we're kind of leveling up in the process since we just went through an ordeal here, that actually works out pretty nice. Like you said, with you, Boo, kind of looking at this with your monk stuff, and Tord was already a monk and kind of expanding that way, and Zai's rediscovering God. Jinku's got a cat. Um, the
Excuse
catnip did
me.
work, by the
Jin-
way.
Jinku already has some cats. She's just trying to get more.
Catmancer. Just gonna have a whole. You got your pocket of peanuts. You got your pocket of kittens, and they're.
Jinku is multi-classing into druid
What was it? What was it?
or ranger beastmaster.
Well, no. Oh, there's like, if I remember right, I think there's like a druid thing where you can like control like a swarm of things. So you could like have a swarm of kittens or something like. I'm pretty sure that's a druid thing. I feel like I remember seeing that somewhere. Something about like.
I think that's a ranger.
Oh, is it a ranger? Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a swarm ranger.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I think it is a swarm ranger. Yeah, you have like a swarm of like low, CD animals or something that you can command, and they just. Oh man, interesting stuff. Maybe we will do that. I wasn't even thinking about that. That it had been a bit since we leveled, so maybe in the second half of this we can try to figure out some stuff with that, since we're all at a bit of a crossroads in our lives right now, in various ways. Since we're also kind of just in between some stuff. I mean, like we do have some things we can follow up on, because I mean we got the necklace from the Cast Lanterns. We know the last things in Xanathar that we got to go get. But yeah, this actually would probably be a good time to do a little leveling there. I didn't even think of that until now. So with that being the case, let me. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's level up to, what is it?
8.
8. Nice, we're 8. Awesome.
Wait, y'all are level 7?
What level
Yeah.
are you?
I'm level
Oh.
6.
Yeah, because
I'm 7.
because you didn't. I played for you one time, and I didn't level you up when we leveled up.
Jesus.
Oh, I think the last time we leveled, which was probably September or October, I want to say. Yeah, I think like Quick said, it was like one of the times where you had like work or something, and so Quick played you, and then
Sweet. Double level.
double level. Yeah, sweet. So yeah, let's go ahead and level up to 8 then, and whatever new stuff happens with that. And I'll take a look at some. Kind of maybe some psionic looking things, and we can just kind of chuck something extra in there on Torta for funsies. Let's see here.
Can you long rest us too?
Oh, did I not? I thought I did last time. I will long rest you guys. Oops. Oops.
Oh, guess what?
Hmm.
What?
Seventh level monk, you get stillness of mind.
Shit.
What's
You
that
can
do?
use one action to end an effect of charmed or frightened.
Oh, hey! Nice! It's all coming together.
Which way are you?
I am the way of the astral self.
Oh, I don't have that one. That must be a...
It was it's an Unearthed Arcana, I think. Let me double check where it was from.
Well, it's gonna be a dick now because I leveled up without having it.
It's from it's from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It looks like, actually, at least according to this website. It says source. Oh, that's why. It was Unearthed Arcana, and that's what it was when we first pulled it in and this game started. But I guess it is now in the recent Tasha's Cauldron of Everything book. I was gonna say, because like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything came out last year, and I was like, we've had that longer. Okay, so yeah, it was on Earth Arcana, and then they brought it in officially. Cool. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what gives you your arms.
Yep.
Holy moly!
Oh, 7 is such a beautiful level. Evasion and stillness of mind.
Oh, that's cool. So, I guess with the astral self thing at 17th level. So like it sounds like through the course of like leveling up as an astral self monk, you get like various parts of your astral version of yourself that you can like project, like your arms and stuff like that. It's like you start out with the arms at level 3, and then starting at level 6, it says you get the visage of the astral self, which summons the visage part, which covers your like face and gives you like some advantages and gives you some like sight stuff. And then 11th level, you can summon. What is it? Oh, you get some extra boost when you have both the visage and the arms out. And then 17th, you can like basically cover your whole entire body in like an astral self armor version of yourself. So you
Yes,
have
sir.
like astral arms and helmet and body and like extra like triple attack with those. And like holy fuck. That gets whack. That's awesome. Yeah, I guess that actually does work out really nice. Uh, yeah, maybe we don't need to even toss anything extra in there. It sounds like it already kind of has some counter mind fuckery stuff built into it. That's cool.
No, Jiku doesn't get anything cool at level 8. It's just a ability score improvement. You guys get cool shit, it sounds like.
I
Leveling
can't.
up.
11th level, the awakening of astral self. I can deflect acid, lightning, cold, fire, force. Like, way of the astral self is definitely the dopest one yet.
Fuck shit! Basically, the further we get, we're just gonna send Torta into a room to clear it, and then we'll go in.
Yep.
I mean, hey, at least with some of these upgrades he's getting, at least you'll know that sending him into the room doesn't mean he's going to come back out of the room mind controlled by the thing that was in the room to punch the rest of you guys. Oh man. So I guess so if Boo's taken like, so you said Boo was taken like a monk level then? on this one, which would put you to 3rd, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not super great, but yeah, I think I'll do Astral as well.
Okay. It
My
should.
wisdom modifier kind of sucks, but it'll work.
Yeah, I mean, it's still some extra stuff. I mean, that adds you to the arms.
Is
Just
your dex better? Is your dex better than your wisdom though?
Yeah, I'm a wizard. So I would pump a smart wizard pumps in Dex because Dex is going to be the thing a wizard needs when the int fails.
right.
No, it was just so I won't. So I'll still be able to use my wisdom modifier instead of my strength modifier. It just won't be as great as straight monk.
With the with the monk though, he uses the dex modifier, so you should be able to use that or your wisdom.
Oh, my Dex is better than my wisdom.
So that you should be using your dex then.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I figure. Well, I don't want to assume. Would your way be something you would share with me?
I mean, we're working together to create the monkhood of tarts. So yeah, let's do it.
Cool. The
We'll
way of
share
the astral tart.
Yeah, the astral
Yeah.
tart.
Well, I mean, and especially since, if he isn't bound by laws of his culture anymore, even if that was something like secret, like, fuck does that matter anymore? Like,
Well, it was more I didn't want to assume
fair.
the closeness of the relationship.
That's fair.
But
That's
yeah,
fair.
I'll take that. Take the astral self and get the what do I get? Deflect missions. Oh, and I get the arms.
And get the
Yeah.
arms. It's gonna go in every fight, and like everybody's just gonna pop out a bunch of freaking ghost JoJo stand arms. And start
Well, if I can kill Mix and get his robe, I'll have an 18 AC without any spells.
The arms do radiant or necrotic damage.
I don't do radiant. That's not a boo thing. I think that would probably burn him.
a little bit. Have you found any gods you thought were cool, Zay?
Yeah.
It is within rules to be an atheist too.
That is true.
You can worship Boo.
No.
You will someday, but right now you don't have to.
I mean, like, from that list, the ones that stood out were like Mistress, who is considered like the mother of magic and lady of mysteries.
Hey, Daz.
Salune, Shar, and then I also kind of looked at, let's see if I can pronounce this right, Illustrae.
I haven't heard of that one. What's that one?
She is a chaotic good drow goddess of beauty, song, dance, freedom, moonlight, sword work, and hunting.
Ooh, interesting.
But I was kind of looking more at Shar.
Does anybody know how to fix? Somehow my dex went to from 18 to 0.
Oh, what the heck?
Rip.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking a little bit more at Shar, who is Mistress of the Night and the God of Thieves.
Okay.
She is neutral evil and has domains over death and trickery.
I mean, that would make sense. I mean, if you don't remember your god, I mean, you definitely still remember, you know, being sneaky and thievy and stuff that you've done before to survive.
Well, yeah, and she's considered a goddess of loss, of people who have lost things important to them and those seeking to forget, which I thought
So, yeah, that works pretty nice.
works in the current circumstances because Zai has forgotten something very important to her and is looking for a deity, so it would make sense that
Yeah.
a deity like Shar might like reach out to her to become one of her clerics.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. Cool. Let's see where that would. Let me see.
From what I was reading, she's not one of the openly worshipped deities in Waterdeep.
That's what I'm seeing too. You're like, all right, I'll have to look into that a little bit and see how we can do that. Cause like I don't doubt that there is organization of it in Waterdeep, but you know, like you said, it's not like
It's probably a
not
little
on the
bit more
corner.
underground.
Literally, probably yes.
Yes. I believe Shar and um Eyeless Trey were two of the ones that were commonly worshipped by Drows for that reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah,
Cool.
I think I'll end up going with her. She makes a lot of sense. I don't know quite yet if I'm going to be changing my domain from trickery.
Okay. If so, like what?
Well, it would either have to be trickery or death,
Oh, you'd be a death cleric. Okay.
because those are the two domains the rules over. So it would have to be one of those two. But I haven't decided if I want to switch over to death, because I do like a lot of the skills that I get from the trickery domain.
Mm-hmm.
And it does make sense that Sai has all of the trickery stuff.
Yeah, I mean, either one of those would be perfectly fine. Yeah, I mean, like just because you forgot your previous duty, like you could certainly still be a trickery cleric just for a different god. That's fine. Yeah, he's like a death cleric looks like it's almost kind of like a mildly necromancer, almost kind of, but a cleric.
Yes. Yes. that was one of the reasons why I was kind of starting to look at it, because I know Zai has kind of started using attacks geared towards more necro,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't made that decision fully.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. I'll have to make a note for Mix that we leveled so we don't forget him and have him level up next time and wonder why everyone else is another level ahead of him. Let's see, Mix. Yeah, level 8. Okay.
I'll text him.
Okay. And so aside
Actually, he won't remember. Never mind, I won't.
fair. So aside from all of the interesting character developments, um, anybody get any anything interesting spell wise or whatever? At level 8?
No.
No,
No, not really.
I got a domain aspect and that was it.
That's just one of those levels where you get like a ability point and some HP.
Yeah, and I forgot to add spells that I got at last level, so I'm doing that. But
Oh, what did you get?
nothing. I just got 2 level 2 slots. I'm looking through right now, but half the time Jinku can't get these spells to work, so I'm looking through to see what might be useful.
Right, see which ones would be utility, yeah.
I did find one. It's called Cloud of Daggers, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, yep. That one is.
Heat metal is a fun utility level 2 spell, especially when the metal is armor and they can't get it off.
I was looking at that,
And that has come in
that
handy
might
before.
Be useful.
You guys have used that before.
Yep. Invisibility is another good one. I don't know. Yeah. I think you get everything from the wizard list. So.
I think I just have to choose some.
Yeah, you don't get a spell book. You just get to pick.
Yeah, I just get a couple slots.
Yeah, they just be that way.
Oh, did you see? I read a cool thing where you can equate your Hogwarts house to your D&D class.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Say
like
more.
if you're a Hufflepuff, you're a wizard. If you're a Gryffindor, you're a wizard. If you're what are those other fuckers?
Ravenclaw and
You're
Slytherin.
so ashamed of you right now.
If you're a Ravenclaw, you're a wizard. If you're a Slytherin, though, you're just a sorcerer.
Dad says unfollows. uh, yeah, I remember seeing a number of like posts on like the D&D Reddit about like atheist clerics or paladins as a thing, and like discussions about how that worked. And if I remember right, I think like the general consensus of how that would work, because like just because of like the way that like Faerun is, like it's pretty obvious that like the gods aren't there and exist. And so it's more of like it would be you don't think they are worthy of worship. You're like, yeah, they're there, but I don't think they deserve any sort of patronage.
Yep. Yeah, it's a totally viable option for any religious class to not believe in the gods and get the power. Like especially even for a paladin, your belief in your oath can give you your power. You know.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think so. With all that put in place, it looks like everybody's up at 8. Let's see, that's 8. Yep. Okay, cool. So that's all in there. So with that, then I think we'll take our 10 minutes now, since everybody's got their stuff in for 8. It looks like, and pick up after the break at like 8:45 ish.
Cool.
And see what goes on. So we'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Okie doke. So, with everybody's levels all sorted, it's Troll Skull. It's an evening. Your doors are open like they usually are. Your usual staff is here getting things going for the night. And you begin, as you guys are just kind of like chilling down around the first floor, kind of like you do whenever things are kind of slow, just kind of hanging out in your space with the customers that come through. You notice, uh, a decent trickle of um, people coming. Some of them are faces that you feel like you've seen. Some of them look a little confused, um, but you feel like some of these might be people from that whole mass that got expunged from the pocket dimension that you guys released. Because as Boo so um, handily distributed among all these people. Um, he did a little advertising for the bar after you guys all popped out of the pocket dimension. Everyone was laying around all woozy and trying to figure stuff up. Uh, Boo went around telling them all about Troll Skull, and it seems that some of those took. And you have a little bit more flow coming through the place tonight. Um, people just trying to find a footing somewhere, even if that footing is the familiarity of a tankard. It's something at least.
Mood.
So as these various people are coming through, um, you see a couple like Boo, you're chilling off in like a corner in like a booth somewhere, and one of the like there's a kind of a young man who kind of walks over in your direction. He's already got like a tankard that's been pulled for him from the bar. He's like, "You're the one that got us out of there, isn't it? Do you own this
Yeah,
place?"
it was pretty much all me, and I'm yeah, I'm the sole proprietor of this wonderful place. I do have some assistant helpers here that work and live in the place, but yeah, that was all me.
So, some assistance to the regional manager. He kind of sips gingerly at this tankard and says, "Well, yeah, I can't thank you enough. I don't really know what to make of all this. A bit of a shock. I can't really say I knew where I was when I first came out. I'm still a bit surprised, but goodness, what a nightmare."
Yeah, I mean it was pretty terrible. It seemed like not a lot of good food. Oh no, they were making you into food. Sorry.
He kind of nervously chuckles at that, you know, trying to play along with the humor, but obviously a little bit traumatized from the experience of it all. Um, says, "Yeah, yeah. Uh, well, I never did know what happened to the rest of my family. I went on the cart myself when it came. I don't know if they're even still out there somewhere. I don't know if they followed. I haven't seen them. Goodness, what a mess."
Well, I mean, you know, you're gonna have to move past it eventually. Family kind of sucks anyway, to be honest.
He kind of breathes a little sigh and says, "Well, I suppose. I mean, I'm not even really sure how long it's been. I mean, goodness, for all I know, they could all be dead by this point." And he kind of takes a big swig of his tankard at that. Says, Guess it's time to sort myself out something new. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring your night down. It's just been a lot to process. But I thank you for giving us somewhere to come. That's at least somewhat familiar.
Yeah, as long as you've got coin, you're always welcome here.
And he kind of nods and kind of goes back into drinking from his tankard and kind of ambles away back over towards the barn. Among all these people, one of your regulars comes in. Uh, the where, crap, where did that go? There it is. So Raynar comes in. Raynar Neverember, and his usual friends comes around. Pretty regular visitor to the tavern. Pulls up to his usual booth, gets his usual drinks. He sees you, Jinku, nearby, and kind of waves you over. And kind of in kind of a loud greeting, calls out to you. Ah, Jinku, my friend, how have things been? Quite a little larger crowd here tonight than usual. What's the occasion?
Oh, we went in this wagon and it was weird, and now there's a lot of people. Yeah, it wasn't a good place. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough. I've certainly heard, tale of many of of you all's exploits in recent weeks. By the way, how goes progress on the He kind of winks in your direction.
Rainer, what the hell are you talking about?
He he kind of looks around at his friends who they aren't really like paying the most attention. They're kind of conversing amongst themselves. But like he still knows that this is kind of something that you guys want to keep on the DL a bit. And he says he kind of wordlessly he kind of points at one of his eyes and and mouths silently, the the eyes, the thingy, the artifact.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask Boo.
Ah, well, perhaps I will trouble him later. And he continues kind of drinking and cavorting with his friends there. Additionally, among all the other people coming in here, Mert shows up at one point. Uh, you know, Pulls himself up to the bar, gets a drink, and sees you all around here. Kind of looks around. He spies uh, Torta nearby, and kind of leans over and says, "Heard word's been going around in Waterdeep. You've done us a great service."
But sort of is kind of like there but not there.
Understandable. You kind of blink a bit, and he leans back and chuckles and says, "Well, from the rumors I've heard, it sounds like it was uh, quite a fight you put up. Of something terrible. Goodness, I mean, I don't blame you for needing a moment to process it. My goodness, there have certainly been some adventures in my life that I would very gladly not ruminate on anymore. Ooh, The things I've seen, things I'm sure you've seen. And he, takes another chug of his drink here. Says, if I can, you know, perhaps in, little less company around. Do you mind if I stop by a little later? We can discuss some matters of import in some of the other business you've been working on.
Yeah, if it's of like importance, we can even go now.
Oh, is there somewhere we can go a little more secluded?
Absolutely. I'll like grab Boo and tell him he wants to talk. Head upstairs.
Okay. All right, so Torta, Boo, do you go along with Boo, with Torta and Mert?
Yeah, I'll grab Jinku and Zayara, and we'll send the kids down to man the bar.
Okay. Yeah, they're happy to help out, as they usually are. So you guys head upstairs with Mert and kind of get comfy around the kind of central kind of sitting room area of your house half of the building. Mert kind of settles into his chair, kind of gets himself comfy, stretches his legs out a bit, and says, "Well, there's certainly been no shortage of rumors flying around the guard recently about your little escapades down in the docks. A whole massive crowd of people bursting out of the air, all walks of life from all over the coast. Goodness, what a tale! What
It's
was
a normal day.
what was what was going on in there? I mean, I remember last I'd heard you were doing some work for the Castellanters. Uh, something with them.
Well, not yeah, kind of. Like we found a castle enter in there. The eldest, he was dead, I think. Well, he was a demon.
Mert's eyes kind of widen at this and says, You found their son."
Yeah, yeah, he was a demon. We killed him. I think we did, right? I'll look
Yeah.
at Florida. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we killed him. We killed him good. I wanted him to, be a pet, but these people insist demons don't make good pets, even though I know they're wrong.
Are you certain it was Osvaldo? He was a demon, you say? Goodness, what dark deeds
Well,
have happened here?
he was wearing the insignia, unless, the castle lanterns have, you know, demons in the family tree.
You don't happen to have kept that insignia with you, did you? I think someone grabbed the necklace. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, we have it.
So you go and fetch this necklace that you had grabbed off of his body there, and hand it over to Mert, and he kind of turns it over in his hands here and says, "Yes, yes, this is certainly the Castellanter crest, and well, it seems to match up with how things would have looked at the time. To think that he'd been turned into a demon. Do do you know anything about how that might have come to be? I mean, the mystery of what happened to their eldest son has been something of a rumor around Waterdeep for quite some time, ever since his disappearance. I mean, he was there, and they had their son, and then all of a sudden, one day he was gone, and well, then nothing was really talked about much of him. You would have expected there would have been more of like a search, or some sort of investigation, but the Castellanters seemed, distraught, but assured us that such a thing wasn't necessary.
We had evidence that they were like fucking with demons, didn't we?
So
They had made a pact in order to like get wealthy, if I remember right, and the price was that like on their child's like 10th birthday or something like that, he would be taken from them.
hmm yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that when when you guys have like talked to the Castellanters, and also when they made the deal with you to give you one of the eyes of the stone, they kind of told you what happened, and that was that when they were young and stupid, um, they had a they wanted to be wealthy, they wanted to be well known and an important person in Waterdeep, and they trying to find out ways to get rich quick, as it were, without much effort. Um, they stumbled across some way to do that by making a pact with some demon, and the demon was like, okay, yeah, we'll give you riches and stuff, you just got to give me your kid when he turns 10. And of course they were just like, yeah, sure, whatever, that's fine, and made this pact. And only later, when they had a kid and raising him for 10 years, realized, well, shit, that was maybe not the best of ideas to do that. And then their son got taken, and then now here we are. And it seems like there may have been some other things with the pact, because they've had some various demonic forces coming after their current kids. Um, so there may be some sort of residual something with that they are wanting to try to avoid or get out of, from what they told you. But uh,
They need to quit procreating.
I'll happily share that with him.
so you kind of divulge this whole sad tale to Mert, and the whole time he's kind of sitting there and kind of you know shaking his head, kind of with a sad expression on his face, and just oh the well, the choices we make in our lives certainly do have consequences, don't they? Goodness, to think that their station in life was brought about by such suffering. I mean, I guess the one bright side is, I guess, at least the suffering of their child is over. I mean, it sounds like he was in a pretty terrible place with whatever they had turned him into. So, at least you granted him that, if anything. Have you told the Castellanters what you found yet?
No, it never occurred to me that they might want to know, because I always figured if you were willing to, turn your son into a demon, it wouldn't really matter.
I mean, that's understandable. I mean, it sounds like they're. I mean, it sounds like they are remorseful um,
I mean,
from what
that's
they've
why
told
we
you.
took the necklace, was so that we could give it back to them and give them
Oh,
some closure.
that's why we. Oh, we
The
thought
the
we took
more
it because it was
proper
shiny.
the more proper answer would probably be that we have not had the chance yet. We have had a very long adventure and have needed some rest from it.
Do you think they will care? Their truth will be known.
Well, I mean, I certainly think they would care. I mean, I do not know whether that would be something they end up telling the public. I mean, it has been quite some time, and while there are certainly still rumors about them that come up, and what happened to their son. I mean, I wouldn't really say it's something that's in the public's eye at the moment, but as you say, I mean, the closure might be good for them.
You humans are weird.
Yeah, they are.
Loving your children.
Oh, you have the children around here that you love, do you not? They seem to enjoy your company. He kind of chuckles a
I'm
bit.
not capable of love, Mert.
Oh,
He loves them as much as he is capable.
well, that's better than some can say for some children out there. At least you're giving them a safe roof to weather their days under. It's very kind of you. Have you uh, have you made any other progress with the uh, stone since last we met? I know there was still, what was it, one piece that was missing to try to find out what happened with the Never Embers. I believe it was the Xanathars, correct? I believe you had found. Ah, yes, that's right. You had found some information in the cemetery. It pointed to the Xanathars. I did find something that some information that may be useful to you there. You do recall those the underground fight circle?
Yeah, where we kicked ass.
So I have heard. Well, I mean, as you may or may not be aware, those circles, that are run by Xanathar's people, there's a number of them around the city, and oftentimes the more notable participants are invited to uh, kind of a larger event that Xanathar himself enjoys watching. Um, I don't know the exact details of the location. Certainly somewhere underground, as they are wont to be. Uh, but that may be something you would want to look into if you're trying to find this last piece and it is in his hands.
I mean, the businessmen should be the group he wants to see the most.
We're the best.
Well, that's
We
certainly an
move
in.
up on them fast, and we do business.
Stocks going up. Well, I would certainly advise to, be careful about it, but perhaps look into that avenue and see if you can get some sort of entry that way. In Xanathar, it's a very, I have met him before, but he is a very suspicious and protective sort of fellow. Very into his secrets and very into holding on to what he considers his. So I would not expect that you can simply amble in and take something from under his many watchful eyes.
Sounds just like Boo.
Yeah, that's good information. We'll have to go check on it. I'm ready to beat some people up and clear my mind.
Well, I will leave you to it. I have some more paperwork I must attend to. Some of these refugees of sorts, I guess, as we would call it, down at the city hall that you released from their purgatory. Well, some of them have some very long and storied homes that they have come from. Some seem to have been in there quite a astounding length of time. So there's quite a bit of, well, bureaucracy we have to get through to make sure everything is in order for these people, to bring them back into modern society. You know how these things go.
Well, if any can't find a place, feel free to send them here. Don't document them or anything. Just send them on over. We'll take care of them.
Don't do that.
Well, I can't really say I can send over any without the proper paperwork. That would, well, that would sully my station, I am afraid. But I can certainly, put in a good word that this is somewhere they can come to for a a cold drink.
Fine.
And Mert kind of picks himself up from his chair here. He wraps his little cane on the ground that he has and doffs his hat and makes his way down your stairs out of your house and leads you all to it.
Fucking Mert, right, guys? He's a
Sounds-
good help.
Yeah, we need to give him a couple free drinks.
Whoa. Whoa. That cuts into the profit margins, Torta.
I get to go fight. I'll pay for it myself.
That's fine. You can pay for it then. Okay.
So in terms of the last time that you had gotten into this, there was a person kind of on the northern end of the market ward that Mert had told you that goes to a specific location on like a specific time, a specific evening, and anybody who's wanting to get in goes there, and then they get you get blindfolded and taken to where it's at. That's the one that you guys know about, that you were in before, and fought in before, and then also had some other stuff happen there. That's also where you well, that's where Mix got stuffed into a closet full of bodies, and then there was the mind flayer that jacked toward his mind. That worked for Xanathar. There was a whole bunch of stuff in those tunnels. But that's the one you guys know about.
Yeah, that's where we met that smart ass orc that said he was gonna beat us up. And then I think we knocked him out.
You did. I think. Well, I think Mix darted him with one of his. I think it was one of his like drow darts that he had. And conked him out at
So
the table
long
in the
ago.
corner. That was a while ago.
Okay. And if but this other one is invitation only that we're looking to get into, right?
Right. So yes, yeah. So this one that Mertz told you about. So like the fight ring that you guys went to, was one of many just kind of common fight rings where your usual run of the mill town punchy people like to go and punch each other out and get drunk and bet money. And there's a more exclusive one that Xanathar himself likes to go to and watch. That is, supposedly nearer to where he is, wherever that is under the city. But yes, that one is invitation only. So the promising fighters, are ones that are deemed entertaining, may get invited down there. Well, the tricky thing is the businessman is just Torta and Boo. There's still the rest of you. So even if you get in with the businessmen,
We have an entourage. We
Got it.
need an entourage.
need an entourage.
Yeah, they're our hype crew. We send them out to get knocked out first.
But yeah, this seems the most promising avenue, at least, to get close to Xanathar and hopefully find other information. Scope out the place. Because it doesn't seem like a lot of people really know much about it, much less where it is or what's there.
Well, guys, we could be noisy about it and just put up posters around town advertising that the businessmen are looking for another fight as long as it's underground enough. I've got this really cool idea where we write it all on a poster that looks like a bicep because we're businessmen and we got big biceps. What do you think, Torta? Zaira, Jinku?
Is there going to be like a proprietary troll skull bucks involved in this? It just has to circulate. It just keeps going in a circle. Oh, that episode's great.
I suppose we could go drop this shiny off at the castle lanterns and figure it out on our way there.
Boo needs to go stop by a few local pawn shops and cancel some pending deals on the way.
Actually, that's a good idea. Cause like,
See how much it's worth first.
yeah. Can I heat metal and melt this bitch down for?
All right. So you're heading the castle lanterns direction with this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys head out. Take your leave. The staff of Troll Skull continues doing what they do best, serving all the new customers. And off you trot in the direction of the Castellanter's villa. We do eventually get there. It's a little late in the evening, and the gates are the front gate to like the yard is closed, but I mean there's like a little kind of station built into the side of the gate that supposedly someone's watching. There's like a narrow-ish wooden door that you see kind of leading into the side. There's a light on. Looks like you see a little bit of light coming out under the door.
We'll go and holler at him.
Okay.
I can just hop over if you don't want to bother them.
Rich people get really mad when you just like show up at their door. They really want people to be announced.
Mm,
It's weird, I know.
So I just should I start yelling that we're out here?
Well, there's a door. Let's knock on it.
I'll let you do that.
Knock, knock, knock.
All right. So you knock on the door, and a little moment passes, and eventually you see the door opens, and you see a kind of middle-aged human man standing there, and kind of a plain kind of chain mail, kind of just a light chain mail covering with the Castellanter uh, family crest on the chest. And he sees you all here and says, it's a little late, but what business do you have with the Castellanters?"
We have news that they'll want to hear.
"Well, uh, can I get to name? Do they know you?" He's kind of looking you over. Boo, you've got some tattoos poking out of the edges of your clothes, and you kind of look like a bit of an adventurous bunch. And he personally hasn't. Most of your dealings before have been with their butler directly, and the Castellanters themselves. So this random night guard doesn't seem to really know you.
Yes, you may announce me as Buffet the Protector, bringer of darkness, slayer of fathers, doer of hard time, master patchmaker, builder of wards,
You can just
proprietor
tell
of
them that
barons,
the owners
and
of Troll Skull are
saver
here.
of people.
Didn't I kill
They'll
one of their
know
guards?
us.
Of
No.
their guards? No. You guys
I
haven't.
was with his cousin when I was compelled. I kind of remember their crest. I think we beat up one of their guards.
Oh, I think there was one. Yeah, and the Mind Flayer fight that did. This particular guy wasn't there. They have a few different guards. This is like their night watchman guy. This is mostly what he does. Is just this. He sits in the gay house. So he's got the armchair job for the most part. But he's just been kind of nodding along as you've been going off on this title tirade here. But he does hear Zai mention this troll skull place, and kind of says, all right, I'll let him know." And he kind of closes the door, and you hear some shuffling around, and you hear the sound of another door opening, assumedly on the other side somewhere. And you see him walk across the lawn and head into the villa. And not too long afterwards, you see the oops, their butler kind of hurrying out across the yard in your direction, and comes to the gate and kind of happily lets you inside, unlocks the gate lock and opens the door enough for you to get through. Willifort, that's right, Willifort was his name. He says, "Oh, I am sorry for the wait. Thank you. The Lord and Lady are waiting within to hear the news you've brought. Come, follow me." And he kind of quickly walks back across the yard, assuming that you all are following after him here.
Yeah, I'll be following.
Okay. So you guys all head in the villa. Pretty much the same as any time you were before. You walk in the front door. You're in the large foyer with the double staircase going up, and the various artworks and decor of high society. And Willifort leads you off into a side room, kind of a sitting room of sorts. There's a fireplace going, and Lord and Lady Caslanter, Victorio, and Amalia are both seated in here in comfortable chairs. They see you come in, and Victoria's eyes kind of light up immediately and says, "Ah, yes, yes. It is good to see you, my friends. Have you managed to deal with the trouble on in the village outside of town? I've heard it brought you into town as well. Something down in the docks. What happened?
Well,
Are my children safe?"
yes and no. We have news of your oldest.
His eyes kind of widen at this, and his wife kind of gasps a little bit, and she kind of brings her hand up to her mouth at this, and he turns to Willifort and asks Willifort to leave the room, and Willifort does and heads outside, and Vitaro kind of motions for you all to come kind of sit nearby. There's a few other chairs kind of around in the area here, and both he and his wife have kind of rather solemn, sad looks on their face as you kind of take your seats around with them in their sitting room here. He says, "Our eldest. Well, can't be anything good, I'm sure. What did you find?"
I wish the news was good, but we can at least tell you that he's at peace now.
Amalia begins kind of weeping a little bit at this. So, Victoria kind of leans forward on the kind of like on the table here. It's like, "You found him? You sure it was him?"
Well, I'll give him the thing, the seal.
The necklace. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you hand this over to him, and he kind of turns this over in his hands here. You can see his hands are kind of shaking a little bit, and he's like, "Well,
It was at least his body. We can't say for certain how much of his soul or his humanity or whatever you choose to believe makes us us was there."
yeah." As you're kind of saying this, he kind of raises his hand a little bit and says, "Yeah, I understand. I don't really wish to know the details, to be honest, but
No, this is a deal you made. Your son was turned into a demon, a chain demon, and tortured other souls. This is a reality you have to face because it's a deal you made about your child.
Ooh, I think they have already felt enough guilt over their past choices.
you know,
Blue grumpily leaves.
well, Victoria, as you're kind of standing up to leave, Victoria's like, no, she has the right of it, but I mean, you are fair in your assessment. I mean, in other situations, I'm certain there are others of our station that would be angry for talking out in such a way, but you you have the right of it, Boo. You're not wrong. We made these choices, and well, now we see the consequences of sacrificing our children.
For all of this.
And talking out into your station doesn't matter to me, at least at this point.
It's true. It wouldn't. But yeah, he kind of holds the necklace up in his hand. He says, "Well, I can certainly confirm this is Osvaldo's necklace. We had it was given to him on his 5th birthday, and he wore it most everywhere. And well, he was wearing it when he was taken from us. So I don't see any other particular reason why this would be on anything other than him. I mean, no demon would be interested in such a trinket. But I am glad to hear that he is at peace."
We figured you at least
There-
deserved to know the truth, no matter what the circumstances were.
Perhaps some of your ill-gotten gains can be put to use helping some of the refugees that your child tortured due to your choices.
And he kind of nods a bit there, and kind of you can see him mulling this over in his mind. He says, "Yes, that does seem certainly an equal contribution there, or as equal as we can. Just help these people back on their feet." That is fair. And he kind of reaches a hand out, and like he kind of kind of holds his wife's hand here next to him. He says, like, we can certainly say that after all these years, we understand the value of our children, and we will see to it, no matter what, that no harm will come to our twins. We don't want to make these same mistakes again and lose them like we did our eldest. And hopefully, with the matter that you've been looking into for us, hopefully that will allow us to end this once and for all before they suffer a similar fate."
For your sake, I hope you're honest.
He continues kind of nodding solemnly, and you can you can see that actually, well, roll an insight check. Anyone or all of you. Okay. And like you can see Zara, you can see that this kind of this weighs on him. This is something that he's thought about a lot, and clearly something that has affected him and his wife quite a bit over the years. Losing their eldest son, and yeah, like you certainly believe that they would do whatever it takes to make sure that their current children, Belzarina and Terenzio, don't get into a similar situation.
Who's too mad?
Osvaldo reaches into. Oof, almost had to sneeze there. Osvaldo kind of gets up and goes over to like a nearby table, opens a drawer, and kind of digs around a little bit, and finds a kind of like a small case or like a box of some kind, and places the necklace inside of it. Closes it and then kind of sets it on the like on a side table nearby. And then comes back over and sits back down at the table with the rest of you. Says, well, I mean, it sounds like, well, hopefully, whatever this, this group or whatever these demon worshippers in this village outside of Waterdeep have been up to, like, it sounds like you've at least taken care of a great threat. So hopefully that will, mean that is the end of it for a while. They certainly can be relentless in their pursuits. But I appreciate you, and, well, our children appreciate you uh, uh, looking out for them. I'm very grateful. Have you found anything else in terms of completion of the artifact to find this lost, never-ember enigma? I mean, last we had heard from you, there was the second eye you managed to pry from that wizard in the tower. But there's still one slot, is there not?
Yeah. We've got some business we need to take care of in order to sort that out.
And he kind of leans back in his chair, and nods and says, I understand. I don't. You don't need to tell me everything. I am just glad to hear that progress is being made. Please do let us know if you manage to find anything out, or manage to find the last piece.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. Well, if there is nothing else tonight, you've certainly given us a lot to think about. Some kind of long buried emotions from years past to ruminate on. So, with our thanks, here, let us lead you out to be about your business then.
Okay. Sayara gets up to leave.
Okay. And Victoria kind of leads you over to the door of this little kind of sitting room area. Lets you back outside into the main foyer. Willifort's out there, and he leads you all back out to the street outside. It's fairly dark outside. It's probably like, it's probably like 9. It is kind of it's not quite like midsummer yet, but it's pretty dark by this point. Sun's below the horizon.
Well, maybe we should go drinking and advertise or brag about how great we are, and we might be able to get that invitation that we're looking for.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So is this? Sorry, are you guys trying to just kind of hit up whatever bars are around and just try to talk yourselves up, or?
Oh, didn't they have a bakery or something down next to that purple shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one way down there. That's like way down on like the dock side of town, south side. But yeah,
That's a good idea. That's a lot better than having to go drink.
I mean, we can go drink, and then if there's some bars around there, you know.
well, there certainly is one because there is the bar, um, pretty close to the purple shop, which was the one that, uh, kind of the dive bar that's got an anchor through the roof that Volo likes to go drinking at. Yeah, you do know some stuff around that area. There's that. There's the bakery shop that is a front for the Xanathars because you had met with Ott, the dwarf with the knitted beholder hat that you guys had rescued a long time ago.
Yeah, let's head down that way. The night is young.
The night is young indeed. So you head down to. You head down to the dockward area again. You know, and along the way, like pretty much like right along the way, going down towards the area around the purple shop, uh, is right past that chunk of the dockboard where you guys just, were the night before. As you guys kind of get to that part of town, there's still a, fair amount of people around there. You see, a decent city guard presence. They seem to be around trying to sort through people and figure out what the heck's going on here and who these people are and where they're from. There's kind of some makeshift shelters that have been set up the along Snail Street, which is kind of this the larger thoroughfare through this part of town. Um, but you kind of head on past, seeing all this commotion going on, and make your way down to Phillip Lane. The Skewer Dragon is here, the bar that you've been to a few times before, with the anchor through the roof. And then, of course, the Zoblob shop. And a few blocks away to the west is the bakery that you had heard of before.
No, one of you guys is gonna drink, right? Because I don't actually really want to drink. It
Diara
messes with my
doesn't drink.
stomach.
I can drink.
Just you're all going into the bar and just Tortoise drinking.
No, Jinku will.
Cool. Okay. All right. So you head into the Skewered Dragon, and as you come in through the door, like at this time of night, there's definitely more people here than the other times that you guys have been here. Um, there's been, I think actually both of the other times you were here was kind of during like earlier in the day, and so it was kind of the morning drinker crew that was hanging out here before. But at night, it is pretty busy. There's quite a few people here. I mean, this is a very very hole in the wall, literally a hole in the wall, uh, type bar, and the general fare of people working and living in the dock ward are here for the cheap and the you know terrible ale. Um, whatever works to make you forget. So, and you're also kind of surprised to see, well, maybe not so surprised to see. Um, you see a familiar, uh, kind of elegant hat on a man, uh, sitting at the one of the stools at the bar, and he seems to be kind of loudly laughing it up and kind of slapping the back of the guy sitting next to him here. Um, from the outfit and the beard, uh, it's definitely Volo. As you well know, he frequents here. He hasn't noticed you come in at all. Nobody really has. Everybody's too busy getting on what they need to do to drown their whatever they need to drown.
Hey, there's Volo. Let's go drink with him. I'll go over and like just sit down at his table because I'm socially retarded.
Well, he's not at a table. He's at the bar on the stools. But there are some stools next to him if you want to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go sit next to him.
Okay. All right. So you pull up a stool next to Volo here, and he's continuing to talk with his friend next to him here, which you also recognize is Floon, who was his friend that well his friend that you rescued that kind of got you into everything in the first place. Um, seems he's doing well. I mean, he's not captured anymore after your guys' rescue a long ass time ago. Um, but he's having a time here with Volo, and Volo is taking a chug of his piss water and slaps it down on the bar here. Sees you pull up next to him and says, "Oh, what the? You're here? Wow! How are things going at that old ghost house?"
Man, he's really drunk.
Well, it's a ghost tavern now.
Ah, oh, what? Oh, how did I not? How have I not been to there? Tavern? Oh, it's Ghost Tavern. What a splendid idea. Goodness. I'll have to come by. Wow, how have I not stopped by the tavern? Floon, what are we doing here? This is the Troll Skull. I was they're gonna write the book, and then I didn't. Then I sold it, and then they rescued you, and I haven't been to their tavern this whole. Oh my god. Ah, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. And he like kind of he's like slapping his one hand on like your shoulder, boo, and it's just like it's a little tender. He's hitting the edge of some of that new tattoo you got there. uh, that he's like just kind of congenially slapping your shoulder here and just being like, I'm so sorry, friend. I mean to. I don't mean to like not support your business or anything. I've had a lot going on. I've had a lot. I've had a few drinks, just a few, and I'm sorry that I have not come by. Are you good? Are things good? How are things?
They're pretty good. I mean, we're good. The beer is definitely better there at our tavern. But I'll be honest, we've Torta here's been feeling kind of antsy. And
Oh,
we just, running a tavern isn't quite the life, I guess, that he envisioned for himself when he came here. And he keeps, you can see he's drinking again. And I think the only way to really get him off the drink is more fighting. But, well, I mean, what happened when we had that other guy that just, you know, we we let him get on the drink because he wasn't fighting enough, and then shit, that whole district damn near burned to the ground.
oh, what? Oh, don't tell me that was you. Oh, I won't tell. I won't tell anyone. I won't tell the guard. I didn't hear anything. We keep the secrets here in the skewered. We've all got our secrets here in the skewered dragon. It's not going anywhere, friend. It's not going anywhere. I didn't hear anything. Fights, though, huh? Fights. Well, I'm not much of a fighter. I'm more of a writer than a fighter. It's kind of the same, I guess. Sounds the same. Probably.
I'll shake him and say, I'm the fighter.
Yeah, you are! Get him! Who you fighting?
I kind of half punch him.
And he kind of raises his hands in like mock fright, like, go at me! I got a little I got wimpy hands. I hold pens. It's not a very good. They say the pen is mightier than the sword, but that doesn't. It it's not really that good of a weapon.
Looks like it holds a mug more than a pen.
Yes, I guess that can't really be a good job, though.
Could be a fun one though. Let's have a few drinks.
Well, there's certainly people here who make a job of it. That's for sure. And he kind of perks up a little bit and kind of waves his arm over at the bar keep, who is the same one you guys have seen here before, kind of a stout dwarven woman, and uh, calls out, "Drinks for the lot of them! I got this. Those book royalties serving the skewered dragon well tonight." And he slaps some coin down on the bar, and the barkeep happily begins distributing drinks out, and the other patrons are all, too drunk to really pay attention to what all you are up to. They're just happy for some more free piss, because that's pretty much what it tastes like, and it it may very well be. Uh, there aren't really the greatest of health standards. I mean, there's literally a hole in the wall in the ceiling with the anchor, so it could very well be that rainwater. At least, who knows? Somehow there's alcohol in it. That kills the bugs, right? Sanitary.
No, the dysentery kills the bugs.
Oh, right.
I was gonna say the prestidigitation kills the bugs, but yeah, disintegration.
Surreptitiously prestidigitating everybody's drinks so they're a little less virulent. But you have a drink.
Kind of nudge around to see if he knows anybody in the place that likes to fight.
Okay. So you get to talking with Volo and Floon, and Floon is still like, I mean, he's not quite as boisterous of a character as Volo is, but yeah, he remembers who you all are. I mean, you saved his life, and he's very grateful to see you all. Very happy to see you all. It's been you know been quite a while since you've all seen each other, but he hasn't forgotten. Um, but he mentions, uh, if you're looking for fighting, well, there's a group that comes around sometimes, and they're kind of hard to miss. They, they're really got the bulk of a fighter going on. Someone who bashes themselves against hard objects, perhaps even their head, you know, all hours of the day. It's not here right now, but I'm sure if you ask around, uh, I'm sure someone might know where they are. What's what was their name? Gone. Ask ask around for Gone. He's the guy. He's the big one. He'll probably know.
His name is Gone.
Gone. Yeah. Ghann. He's a little hard to miss. Big guy. Burly guy. Kind of furry a bit too. I think. Oh yeah, he's a bugbear. Yeah, he's a bugbear. That's right. Big bugbear Gone.
You want us to go hunt down a bugbear to talk to him?
He talks well enough. I mean, he lives here in Waterdeep. He works in the docks. Not all. I've done plenty of it. I've heard plenty of stories from Volo here. We adventured around, written books. Like, bugbears aren't all the stereotype of just out in a cave in a loincloth with the club smacking you. That's rude. Some of them are nice people and like to punch things in an organized fashion. And they do good work on the docks. Boy, can they haul some boxes.
Well, I mean, punching things in an organized fashion is kind of what we're looking for, right, guys?
Indeed.
Well, if you ask around, and maybe not right now, it's a little late, but well, maybe, who knows? I don't know what they get up to, but maybe bugbears like to come out at night. I don't really know. Volo, do bugbears like to come out at night? I don't really know. And Volo kind of looks over. Um, he's got a little bit of ale in his beard. Um, seems to be having like maybe a little bit of trouble hitting the tankard right on the mouth hole. maybe missing a little bit on the sides. And he says, probably bugbear. I mean, they're a bugbear. Owl bears are owls, and bears they like owls like the night, but that there's some similarities there. They probably like the night, right? Read my book. That I wrote that. It knows. I don't know. Right now, the writing knows.
I'll start walking away, just looking for a bugbear owl.
He said he's all the way down on the docks. Let's head down there.
At this time of night?
You have
Well,
me with you.
and me.
Yeah, and him.
We're the businessmen.
And yeah, you're the businessmen. We're here to do organized punching in a businessly manner. All right, so you guys make your way out of the skewered dragon. Maybe a little bit of some queasiness in the stomach. It's not the highest quality, and it's not sitting the best. But you make your way out of the skewered dragon and kind of begin. Like you're already in the dock ward. You're just not like on the docks yet. But you head that direction, and intent to try to find this Gon bugbear who seems to know his way around a fist. And with that, with it being a little after 10, we will call it there and resume our search for Gon next time. Just to note, we won't be the next Friday because I will literally have had all 4 of my wisdom teeth taken out that morning, and I am not going to be moving my mouth around and talking a lot that night. That's not going to happen.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
Well, damn, you should have done this part then.
Right? Jeez. But yeah, I'm gonna be laying down and not moving my face. So the next time we pick up will be, when is it? Let's see. I haven't actually looked at a 2022 calendar.
February.
The 4th.
The
February
4th.
4th.
Correct. Yeah, February 4th. We'll be back and fine and dandy. So yeah, literally that Friday morning, they're all gonna be out of my face. So
Oh, so what you're saying is the anesthesia won't have worn off yet.
But
I
the pain meds will be in full swing.
There are no pain meds, sorry.
I'll at least have some ibuprofen or something. But
Hopefully they do give you pain meds.
They don't anymore, man.
They didn't give me any. They just
Nope.
told me to take Tylenol for pain.
Tylenol and ibuprofen rotation.
yeah, and that's what they mentioned to me during like the pre-consultation was like I think they did mention like maybe like it depends on like the like severity or
Yeah,
something.
like I think if you had some like impacted ones or whatever, that maybe
Yeah.
you could get the good shit. But for
Oh, that's why he
If
gave
if
me pain meds. Okay.
Yeah,
if
mine
you
are
have to
all
actually
4 of
cut
mine.
into your jaw, then you usually get narcotics. But
Yeah,
if they're
all 4 of
out,
mine
they
are out.
don't.
Yeah, all 4 of mine are out, and they're all like straight. Like the X-rays of them, they look like they're just in line with all the rest of my teeth. Like you can't really even tell they're any different. They're just more teeth in the back. But yeah, they're all out. So at least that makes it cheaper because they don't have to like dig through anything. So that's nice. I'll
I
take
can
that.
tell you, avoid straws and smoking of any kind, because when you get a dry socket, that shit is no joke.
Yeah, well, I don't smoke and I don't really use any straws anyways at my house, so I think I'm good on
Although,
that front.
you know, you can't put other. Never mind, you're still streaming. Okay.
Well, yeah, let me find someone to raid real quick, and then we'll.
Don't kink shame on stream.
Yeah, mine was impacted that they pulled out. I
Ugh.
pulled it out and then I gave it to one of my players. Like
Which,
I walked up to him at work and I was like, "Here's a fucking tooth."
God. Oh, let's see. I don't really have anybody right now. All right, that's fine. All right, well, we'll just call it good then. To all you came down to Daz, you were here for a bit. See you, Daz. We'll see you around.